Hello. Hello, good evening. Good evening, Ropal. Good evening, Doreen. Hello, Monica. Hello, Sam. How are you guys? Where are you guys from? Uh, and tell me, have you downloaded the files from yesterday? Have you tried to execute this exercise? Tell me if you have any challenges. Okay, Serbian from Serbia. Hello. Shout out to Novak Djokovic and Nikola Jokic. I love them. Hello from Tanzania and from Kenya. Hello, Edgar. Sam from Ghana. Okay. Uh, so yesterday we have checked a couple of basics of ETL. We have created the data modeling. We have discussed some topics like what is a fact table, what is a dimension table, and then we started to create some DEX measures to create the KPIs visualization, right? And yeah, I presented, I believe, a new function for many of you, the use relationship, the DEX function, when we have uh, a situation like you need to use inactive relationships, right, in the data model. So we have two in this case, and then we use this function, the use relationship, to choose when we want to activate or not this relationship between two tables. Okay. Hello. Perfect. Okay. So let's continue our job. A good reminder, always be sure to see if it's live, the red dot is live in the YouTube player. So you are sure that you are watching me in the live video. There is no delay between what I'm saying and what you are watching. And if the screen gets blurry, check the quality, the resolution, and set as 180 pixels. Okay, I am broadcasting this class with high internet speed, so please check this and make yourself comfortable. I believe we are going to take 2 hours for this class or a little bit less. And our mission here is just watch me doing this first time, try to understand the structure. Tonight we are going to have more DEX measures with new functions. So understand the concept and take notes, okay? That's the important thing for now. And later you can try it by yourself. And in a third time, when you are going to do by yourself without watching the video, is the time that you learn this for real, okay? So have in mind that this is a matter of practice. Of course, there is a lot of trial and error, but if you have the correct approach, like what we are doing here, watch me doing first, and then in a second time you try, and later you can try by yourself without watching the video. And just to remember, all the materials are available here in the link in the description. Uh, Today I have added a new file. So if you have downloaded yesterday, I kindly ask you to download it again because I have added this theme file here, the theme.json, okay? This will be useful to bring the colors and the font that I have picked for this dashboard. And until yesterday, I didn't I hadn't added this when I uploaded. Okay, so I kindly ask you to download this again to in order to have this file for the theme, and then I will show you how you can load this into Power BI. And of course, if you are a student from the complete program, you can download this. It's all available on Hotmart. So the link is also here in the description. And yeah, you guys already know me. I am a Microsoft Certified Trainer, Power BI Data Analyst, and let's go for the part that we were yesterday. Just to remind you, we are calculating a few KPIs here. We have calculated yesterday the number of hirings and the headcount, right? We have calculated the number of layoffs. We still haven't calculated the active, passive, and the spontaneous ones, but this will be easy. It's just like a filter. And I have a comment. I have an observation here that I need to bring. So let's start. Here I am with the same file. It's the exact file that we had yesterday. I haven't changed anything. I have just saved the file. So let's continue. I have here one observation. Remember, yesterday I talked about the D calendar, right? I told you that this table is very important because we want to filter the dates in two tables, and these two tables, they are fact tables, right? And we need a dimension table to filter them. So we need this dimension of the calendar. And when we created this dimension with the calendar, I told you, especially in the end of the class, I told you that we need to have the full time range, all the dates between all the possibilities of these two tables. Okay, so we need to include all the dates. However, I believe this is not right the way that we have created here. So let me tell you why I think this. Because here, for example, we don't have any filter. Okay, it's the last day, the 1st of July, the last day that we had in the D calendar from yesterday, and the first day is 1st of January of 2002. Okay, and if we check here the numbers, so let me bring the calculator. If we check, we know that we have 859 rows, right, in the contracts. We have this number of contracts of people who have worked anytime. Okay, so if we subtract this result of layoffs, we are going to get 248 and not 244. Okay, this means that we are missing 4 contracts here. So let's take a look. Here we have, I'm selecting here the D calendar. Oh, let me change the resolution for you. 1 second. Let's make the icons larger. Okay, now it's better. So I'm selecting here the D calendar to see the expression, okay, that we have. Here we are getting the minimum value of the admission date. Oh, that's all right. We know that the admission date is probably the earliest date that we have. And here we have the maximum of the payment month. So let's remind everybody, what is the maximum of the payment month? Is 1st of July, okay? And we have a problem that we do not have all the contracts listed because As I told you, we have 244 only, and it was supposed to be 248. So this means that we are not seeing four of these contracts. We are filtering, we are not able to see it. And I strongly believe that is related to the date. Okay, this date, this last date, may not be the real last date in our data set. So to check this, let's open the F contracts. And here in the F contracts, let's check, for example, if we order the leave date descending. Let's sort descending. The last leave date that we have here in the records is the last day of June. Okay, this day we have in the D calendar, so this is not the problem. And let's check now the admission date. When was the last date that we hired someone? Let's sort descending. Look, we have found this. The last date that we have is 8th of July, and this is after 1st of July. So we gotta change, instead of getting the latest date of the payment month, we gotta use the latest date of the contract table admission date column. Okay, we gotta change this. So let's change here the D calendar, and the max is going to be the F contracts admission date. And let me change here. Yeah, of course, I have to move the webcam. Thank you for the feedback. Yeah. Okay. And the contracts admission date. So now it's better for everybody. Thank you. Yeah, so I hit enter, and you can see that the result here didn't change. And if we see here in the calendar, now we have until the 8th day of July. So if I choose this, so now we have 248. Okay, now it's going to be good. It's going to be right. Perfect. So another thing I want to start doing right now is to load the theme. Okay, that is this file that I have included today, so you can download. So let's open this here in Power BI. And to load this theme file, you need to click here in View, in the View tab, and we are going to browse for themes. Okay, browse for themes. And here I have this folder, it's right, so I double click and select this. And perfect. Okay, Power BI already loaded. And why this is important? Because here I already have all the color palette set it up. I have the font size, the font type, and other details that are already set. So it's going to be easier and quicker for editing the visuals. Okay, so if, for example, you open here the colors, all these colors available, they are from the color palette of these visuals of these backgrounds that we have on PowerPoint. If you are a student from the complete course, you can download the PowerPoint file, and then you will see the color palette over there. Okay, perfect. Yeah, let me disable the date. Actually, the title is slicer header here. Okay, and I want to turn off this background, effects background. Okay. Yeah, so now it's okay here. And let's start checking here where we are. We have created this table yesterday just to answer one question from a student. And now let me go back to the previous state that we were. We had the head count in this example, and this was a line chart. All right. And here we had the year and the month name in the axis. So you are able to drill up or drill down, okay, and navigate through the months and years. So let me go up. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Yeah, so for now, we need to start developing all the other measures that we need. So let's go back and check where we are. Okay, so we have calculated the hirings, the headcount, the layoffs. Now let's go for the bad hirings. Okay, let me go back to Power BI and let's open this. Okay, for the bad hiring, you know that the bad hiring is when we have an employee who stays less than 60 days in the company. Okay, so what do you expect to see in this measure? We're going to compare two columns, right? We're going to see the difference between two dates, the leave date and the admission date. Okay, this is not hard to do. This is in many cases, in many scenarios, Power BI has a specific function for helping us, and we are going to use this. Okay, so let's create this new measure, and let's call this bad hiring. Okay. If you have started watching this series today, you can download the files in the link in the description. Okay, bad hiring. In the bad hiring, of course, let's start with the calculate because we are going to give Power BI a certain function like calculate the number of rows of this table. And we're going to give Power BI some instructions to filter this table, okay? First, let's start by using the hiring because we want to check the number of bad hirings. So we are just talking about of hirings and adding a filter. Okay, so I will call here the hirings. Okay, that is we expect to see this number. All right, 859 when we do this. So let me just put this inside the calculate and let me create a new card just to check. Look, if I call this, we will get the same value, okay? Of course, you should never do this because we only want to use calculate when we add some filters here. Okay, now let's start filtering. Perfect. For starting filtering, we are going to use this famous function of DAX, that is the date diff. Okay, this is one of the time intelligence functions of Power BI that makes very quick and easy to create some measures with dates, and if we want to compare them or calculate and compare values between some periods. Okay, and this we are going to specify what is the date one and what is the date two. So what is the first date that we have is the admission date. Okay, so I will call here the admission date. The second date we have is the leave date, when the company leaves, or when the employee leaves the company. And we also need to inform a third parameter, okay? That is the interval. And here, in our case, we're talking about days. All right, we're talking about days. So in this case, we want to filter that value that is less than 60, right? But you can filter by other measures. I'm sorry, other units as well. In our case, let's specify days, actually day, and just this function all alone is just calculating the date difference between these two columns. Okay, it's not filtering anything. It's just calculating how many days we have of difference. And what we want is to filter this number, every employee, every row in the table that has this number less than 60. Okay, because this function here will return the value in days, and we want to filter this in less than 60. Okay, so let's hit enter. Let's see what's going to be the outcome. Okay, here I get 352. Wow, we we have been hiring anyone, many bad people for the job. I don't believe so. I don't believe so. Let's inspect this a little bit. Uh, you guys remember that we also have other details here in the contracts table. We have other details, right? So, for example, we have the leave date. The leave date that we are using, we we have many blank rows, okay? We have many blank rows. So I believe we gotta filter this as well, okay? So let's filter this. Let's go back. I will add here a semicolon and let's add another filter. And if I want to filter a certain column that is blank, I can use the function isBlank. Okay, there is a function called isBlank. And if I want the opposite, I can add the not in the beginning, okay? And create this function inside the other function. So, or if we want to oversimplify, we can just use the difference signal. So let me show you. Here, let me call the column the leave date. Look, just by applying this filter, that is very important, now the number dropped from 300 to 100, 104. Okay, now it's looking more accurate. All right, let me see here a few comments. Okay, until this point, are you with me or not? Please send yes or no. In this part that we are talking about DEX, understand the structure. So for example, we reutilize the previous measures that we created yesterday. So for example, yesterday we created these hirings. So now we are using it. And then we added this first filter, and then we added another filter, okay? Yeah. Yeah, I believe for many of you, this is like the first time ever you are seeing this type of formulas. So at the beginning, understand the structure, okay? The formulas, you will get more experience, you will be more familiar with practice, okay? Don't worry about this, it's a matter of repetition and practice. Okay. Perfect. So everybody here is with me. Let's go. All right. So here we have bad hiring. Bad hiring. Okay. This KPI we are not going to show here. And talking about this, we gotta change this order because here we have the X and here we have the plus. So let's change this. We have uh, this is the number of hirings, okay, the plus. We have this head count in this period, and we have this result of layoffs. Okay, let me turn off the background for them, and let's align to the top and also distribute horizontally. Okay, perfect. Format, align to the top and distribute horizontally. Yeah, exactly, Serdian. It's very similar to Excel. And over time, uh, as you progress, you can add more complexity. You can start creating longer and longer measures. Okay, perfect. So let's go for the other new measure. Let's check which one is next. Now we are going to start talking about financial values that are the salaries, overtime expenditure, and absenteeism costs. Okay, let's talk about these three KPIs right now. To calculate the salaries, let's understand the columns and the tables structure to see how we are going to calculate this. So here we have the data model, the salaries I told you that we have in the transactions table, okay? And how we are going to see this? We are going to sum the value column, okay? Here we are going to find these values that were the related to the salaries, but not only the salaries, also other costs and other monetary, other financial values that we have. They are all here. So this means that we need to apply a filter to get and to find this real salary value. Okay, Tarcísio, and which filter is this? Do you know? Yes, let's check the event, right? You remember that we have another table with a list of all the events. So let's check the events, this dimension table. And let's see, we have here the type. Okay, so let's see, for example, the type earnings. This means that it's the earnings for the employees. Okay, and as you can see here, we have many type of earnings, like if you have a paternity leave, night shift pay, that is, it has a bonus and so on. Okay, so we have many type of earnings. So this filter is not uh, enough all alone. Let's check the category column. Here in the category, we have vacations, sick note, regular, others, and extras. Let's see regular. Okay, so here we have found two. We have two events to get the value for the salary. All right, so we have two options. We can filter the event column, filtering the number 100 and the number 1. Or we can filter, let's see, if we filter just the category column, let's clear this type. Yeah, this works. If we filter only the category column that equals to regular, we will find these two events. Okay, and then this will work for calculating the salary. So let's start. Let's create a new measure. Let's call this salaries. And we are going to call this, oh yeah, let's call the function calculate. We're going to sum the value column from the transactions table, okay? And now we need to add that filter in the category column. So let's call the category column equals to regular, okay? And let's close the calculate. All right, now let's bring this value here to the card salaries. All right, we have 5.5 million in salaries. Uh, Let me duplicate this other one. Yeah, okay. So I believe these callout values are still very large. Let's leave like 16. Yeah, it's better now. Okay. So we have this amount of salaries, okay? 5.5. What else we need to calculate? Let's check. We have the overtime costs. Okay, so now we need to check what are the values related to the overtime. Let's check the events for this. For the overtime, let's filter here extras. Yeah, perfect. So that's it. That's for the extras. So here we have the night overtime with 110%, with 50%, with this is not at night, this is general. We have day off, okay. And okay, we have the other overtime that is 50% and during the day. Okay, so that's it. Now instead of filtering the category regular, let's filter the category extras. Okay, let's go back here and I will copy this measure that we have created right now, and I will paste this, and let's call this overtime. And instead of regular, let's call extras. Let's filter extras. Exactly, Serdian, exactly. So now let's add here a new card and let's position this over time. Okay, well, I don't like this type of formatting. Let me change. I don't like to leave this auto. If we are talking about thousands in general, I will use thousands and without decimal places here. If we use decimal places, I use like here in this scenario for million, three decimal places or one. Just simplify, okay? I believe one is better, yeah, because of the space available. Uh, all right, and we have also the absenteeism cost. So let's check now how we are going to filter the absenteeism. Let's go back to the events. And the absenteeism, we have here the absence, right? When the employee misses the day, misses the work day. We have delay that could also be a cause of absenteeism, and we have sick note. Okay, that is another cause of absenteeism. Vacation is not, regular is not, others we are not going to consider. It could be other factors. And yeah, so let's select all of them, um, the three topics, the three categories. Okay, and here we have yeah, a couple of sick notes. We have the scenario when the employee arrives late for the job. And here we have the hour missed. Okay, and you can see that a few of them have the discounted category and the other one is like earned. So if, for example, you get sick, the company is not going to discount this value from your salary. But if you lose 1 day of work without any reason, without justifying, we are going to discount this from your paycheck. Okay? So let's filter these three categories. Let's see. Let's create the new measure. Yeah, we are going to have, oh, let me copy this last one. Overtime, new measure. Okay, and now instead of extras here, we have the first one that is absence. All right, and we have two other categories, and the scenario is like it could be either one of these three categories. So we are going to use the or logical condition here. Okay, so if it's the category of absence, or let me copy and paste, sick note or delay, right? We have these three possibilities. Oh, I forgot to change the name of this measure. This is the absenteeism. This is the financial impact of absenteeism. Okay. In the last row, we need to delete the pipe because we only need here in these two first rows. Okay, so I hit enter and let's add this into a visual. Let's bring this value, absenteeism. Okay, so it is equal to 41,000. The box here is too small for the text. Yeah, if I set this the font size as 11, we can read. Now it's showing. Okay. And also for this, yeah, 1,000, it's perfect. However, I have a question for you. Every time we calculate these measures, should you blindly trust this number you are seeing? Uh, Please be honest and tell me here if you trust that the absenteeism is equal to 41,000, because we have created the measure, we have calculated this, and we summed the correct column, we applied the correct filter, and what else could be wrong? Let's have this conversation, especially if you are beginning, if you are not so experienced with Power BI. Let me know. Do you blindly trust these numbers are all correct? Can the formula for absenteeism work if some people are only absent a few hours a day rather than the whole day? Yes, Doreen, because in the transactions table, we already have the financial value consolidated, okay? So uh, first, you gotta have a record of the how many hours the employee has not been able to attend in the company, and then later you transform this into the financial impact. In our scenario here, we already have the financial impact as we are dealing with the payroll numbers. Okay, so we already have this value. Okay, so I see no, we need to check with real tables and see if it's logical. Perfect, Perfect. No, I don't think so, because on the other measure, we found that the blanks affected the layoffs. Exactly, Tebogo. Always doubt the values that you are getting, the values that you are reading, okay? Always doubt. Exactly. I strongly recommend, like here we are doing things to be free from Excel. And I strongly believe and I strongly recommend that it's good to have the Excel file open in another window, and you can filter manually all these tables, because these calculations we are doing, we are summing, we are like doing this operation with one specific column, and we are applying filters to this calculation, okay? And this is perfectly doable. You can do this very easily on the Excel, all right? So I strongly advise you to do the same and always check. Here in this scenario, let's check just very quickly the situation of the transactions table. That is the table that we are summing, the column of value. Look, all the values of this column, you can see they are positive. The smallest value is 0. We don't have any negative value. And as I told you, in the event table, we know here that there is a type, and some of these events are earnings. This means that the company needs to pay the employee. The employee is going to earn this money, or we are going to discount, okay, from the paycheck. And this means that we are summing all the events equally, and this is not right, okay? Because we should consider if it's like a discount, we are discounting from their salary, it means that we are not paying this, okay? So we are not paying. And if it's earning, the employee is earning this money, like the sick note, this money is coming out of our pockets if we are the company, okay? Yes. No, we need to compare with the records. Some recorded data might be misleading. Exactly. Always when we are doing some dashboards for first time, we need to check is the calculation logical and makes sense. Once it's okay, we can trust it. All right. And even after, okay, I always recommend you to double check. No, we need to always cross check with the records. Example is why we got with bad hirings before we cross-check it and rework it. Exactly. Okay, so I can see that this concept is clear for everybody. And now let's apply this exception, this whole thing here. Let's call this like a detail, and let's add this to our measure to be considered. Okay? And how we are going to do this? In the event here, we don't have, let's see, uh, no, actually we have this column that is going to tell us if this is like a positive or negative. And now we need to cross-check this with the other table value. So let's think for a moment. The best thing, I think the easiest thing here, the easiest solution would be to create a new column to check the signal of this operation, okay? So if, for example, we are talking about discount, we are going to set the signal as a negative value. Okay, let's set this as a negative value. And if it's earning, it's going to be a positive uh, for the employee. Yeah, but in our scenario, actually, it's the opposite. Yeah, I think it's opposite. It makes more sense because if it's a sick note, we are going to pay. Yeah, we are going to pay, so it's bad for us, quote unquote. It comes from our pocket. We are the company. So yeah, if it's a sick note, it's bad. Okay, so let's create this new column with this condition. Okay, I want to call this signal. Okay, and let's create an if to check if the type equals to earning. Oh, let me pick the type column. If the event type equals to earnings, uh, in your computer, check if it's a comma or a semicolon. Okay, the separator. And semicolon, we are going to call the result here that is -1, okay? Because if it's a sick note, it's going to be a negative value. Yeah, a negative value. Yeah, it could be. And if it's a discount, let's create another if, as we don't know if there is another type. And if we have another type of discount, let's just add the number 1. And now let's close this if, and let's see the results here. Oh yeah, there is other types, so that's okay. For the purpose that we want to calculate here, that we are going to use the signal, this works fine, okay? Nice. So now we have the signal that it's supposed to have in the calculation. But the thing is, now we gotta bring the signal to the transactions table. Look, we have this value. Now we have to multiply this value by the signal. Okay, this value by the signal. Another easy thing to do would be to create a new column here and to return, to call the signal value for this event here. Okay, based on this event, Power BI would look for, it's like a VLOOKUP, okay, would look for the signal of this event in the event table, okay? But we are going more advanced here. We are going more advanced. I want to show you how you can create a virtual table. In many cases, this will be useful. I want to showcase how you can create a virtual table instead of adding this value in this table here. We're going to create this virtual table inside a measure, okay? As we are here studying, expanding our knowledge, I want to explore this other solution. Let's create this other new measure. And here we are talking about the let's create just the virtual table, okay? Just to start making things more complex this time. Yeah, and every time we want to create this virtual table, we need to start with the add columns, okay? We're going to start adding columns to this virtual table. And to begin with, Power BI will ask for a table. Ask for a table. Here we can invoke any existing table in our model. But we are going to mix two tables. We need to mix the events and the transactions table because we have the signal column in the events and the value column in the transactions. So we are going to mix two columns. So let's call the function called summarize, and let's use as a base the transactions, because here we have all the values. Okay, and we want to get, now we are going to specify the columns of this table. Okay, now let's call the value column, value column from the transactions table. Okay, and here as we have the relationship established between the two tables in our data model, Power BI is going to allow me to call the other columns from other tables that this relationship enables me to get the value. So we can call here the signal. We can call the event signal. Okay, so we get the signal. So we are creating this virtual table with only these two columns. But we are applying some filters here. We need to filter the category. Remember to check if it's absence, delay, or sick note. So we need to call the category column as well. All right. So in the end, we are going to have this virtual table with 3 columns. And all of this is doable, is possible, because we have the connections in the data model. Okay. And now we are able to manipulate these virtual columns as well. So we can create a new column called, for example, underline total. I like to create this with underline first, so I can spot which columns I am creating in the virtual table, and later is easier to call them. Yeah, so I want to create this underline total, and the total is going to be the value column multiplied by the signal column. Okay, so now I can call the value and multiply this by the signal. Okay, and yeah, let's close this. Yeah, and now you can see there is an error here. The expression refers to multiple columns. Multiple columns cannot be converted to a scalar value. Yeah, this happens every time you create a measure that is not bringing just, it's not returning only one value, because Power BI wants to consolidate this in one value. It's a measure, it's not a table. Yeah, for now, let's leave like this. I want to copy this and open here the DAX query view. So let me paste here after the evaluate. It's not allowing me to do what? Yeah, let's open here the evaluate. On DAX query view, I cannot use semicolon. Why? Okay, anyways, let me create a new table so I can paste this code. Yeah, let's open the table tools, new column. No, 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 no. Oops. No, I don't want to create a new column. I want to create a new table, and then I will paste this code into the new table. Let's check. This new table for checking. All right. So let's see now what we have. Look, we have many rows with the signal column empty, because remember we had some events here with the signal empty. Okay, so this is understandable. And if we have here any, let's filter here the non-blank. Yeah. So here, for example, it's 1, and then 1 times 24.35, it's the same result. Let's check if there are a few negative values here. Let's filter. And yeah, here they are. The values that were supposed to be negative are here, okay? So let me filter the category as we want to see sick note, extras, and we wanted to see the absence, right? Where is the absence? Let me see if the absence is not. Look, the absence may be empty, the signal. Oh, no, no, the signal is here. So yeah, we need to filter only absence, delay, and sick note, these three categories. So here they are, and all of them have a signal. Okay, that's what we wanted. And we did this inside the measure. Okay, so we don't need to store this in the data model. Okay. Okay. Yes, this session will still be available afterwards. Yes, Mr. Bana. Okay, so that's what we have done. If this is the first time you have seen a virtual table, I want to introduce you to a virtual table. And this will make your life easier when you are going to start dealing with more complex calculations. I use virtual tables a lot. Okay, so for now, I will delete this table from the model, and let's go back to the measure. Let's go back to the measure. Here we have the virtual table. Yeah, I will just cut this code. I will delete this measure as well because we don't need this. We are going to add this piece of code inside the absenteeism. Okay, so let's create here in the absenteeism. We need when we deal with these virtual tables inside the measure, we need to store this inside a variable. Okay, so I will call this underline virtual table, and I will paste this virtual table. And now we are going to calculate the variable underline result. Okay. Okay, Tarcísio. Well, here we have only the virtual table, but when you created the virtual table, you filtered the three categories. We are not filtering here. Yes, exactly. So let's add here first the filter, and I will select all these columns that we have, I'm sorry, all the rows that we have here, and I will press tab. And I press tab. So now we are able to filter this virtual table that we created here, okay? And what is this filter that we want? We want to filter the category column, category virtual column, okay? And to do this, we just need to call category here, and it's going to follow the same structure that we already have here down below. Okay, so instead of filtering the events category, we just need to mention category, because inside this context, Power BI knows that category, just category, we are talking about this category column of the virtual table. Okay, if you call the events category, you are going to filter the original category column, and we don't want to do this because we created the virtual table and we want to work with the virtual table. Okay, so now we have here all the three filters, And now you see that this calculate, we don't need it anymore. Okay, we don't need it anymore. But how we are going to sum this, Tarcísio? How? Now we are going to create the function here in the result variable. Okay, that we are going to. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to close parentheses of the filter here. Okay, closing this parenthesis. Yeah. Now in the result, I'm going to use a DEX function for dealing with tables that works in the same way with a virtual table. As we want to sum, I will call this sum x. All the x suffix in the DEX functions, they are in general focused for working with tables. Okay. So yeah, and which table we want to sum? We want to sum the underlying virtual table, semicolon, which column? The underlying total. That is this column that we have created here, which multiplies the value by the signal, okay? And we close this parenthesis, and there is an error. Let's see which one is it. It's missing a parenthesis. Let's see, where is it? This add columns is closing here. And then we have the category being filtered. The DEX var underline virtual table. And then we start the filter, add columns, summarize. And we go for the next column. Okay. Oh yeah, sure. Because every time we use variables, we need to use a return in the end. And I forgot to use the return underline result. That's what's missing. Every time you use variables, you need to add the return and the variable that you want to return in the end. Okay. Now it worked. And let's see. Look, this value has changed. Now it's negative. And why this value is negative? Let's add here. It could be any chart. Let's bring the absenteeism. And this we have here the minus 15,000. And let's add the categories. So you can see we have some positive categories like delay and absence. This gave us some earnings, let's say earnings, no, but savings, because no, it's not exactly a saving in reality, but what I mean is that we didn't pay this. The employee had to pay because uh, they missed the workday. And when it's a sick note, we gotta pay this, okay? And here is the negative value. Okay, Tarcísio. Yeah, it's making sense for everybody. Uh, Please tell me here if this is making sense for you or not. I understand that this DEX measure here is getting more complicated, but it's nice to have one of these in your portfolio and to learn this before you need it, okay? Sometimes you need to do something like this and you have no idea that this is possible. Okay. All right. Perfect. However, this doesn't make sense to show like this because, of course, when we talk about salaries, it's some expenditure. So we are spending money on salaries, we are spending money on overtime, and it doesn't make sense to show only the minus signal here in the absenteeism. Okay, so I want to do the opposite. I want to make this uh, on the contrary. So let's see where we can change. We need to go back here in the events and do the opposite. When it's earning, let's leave like 1. And when it's discount, let's leave like -1. Okay? And now we are going to see that we have spent 15,000 with absenteeism. That this is the distribution right now. Okay? But for the storytelling, it makes more sense now as we have these values that are negative, but we know that these are for uh, the opposite scenario. Okay, this makes more sense for presenting the data, and it's more aligned with the others. Doesn't make sense to add a minus here, a minus here, and a minus here. Of course, we know that when we are talking about salaries, we are paying all this money. Okay. Yes, thank you. M. Kawanazi. Yeah. Uh, yes, surgeon. Yeah, it's a matter of practice, of course, but just to go back and show you the structure, you have the filter function that I added in the end, okay? At the beginning, when I was explaining to you, we created the virtual table. And then I copied this code. We pasted creating a new table here just to see how it's going to look like in the memory of Power BI. But we are using not a hard table in the data model here, okay? It's like a virtual table. And then later we added the filter function that is getting this table and applying these filters here. And in the end, we created the sum of the result. All right? So that's it. Now we have calculated the absenteeism, and yeah, now we are almost there. We just need to calculate the percentage of turnover. We have calculated the salaries, the costs with overtime, and with absenteeism. Yeah. So now it's a matter of visualizing. Okay. It's a matter of improving the visualization. So we have these 6 measures. Let's see: salaries, overtime, layoffs, hirings, headcount, bad hiring, and absenteeism. We have 7. We have 7. Now let's make this entire page all dynamic. And for this, we are going to use parameters. I love using parameters. So what is this, Tarcisio? Watch and see. Uh, Open the modeling tab, and here click on new parameter, and let's select fields. Okay, let's select fields. Now we are going to select all the measures that we want to change in the visuals here on this page. So for example, if we select hirings from this list, all the visuals here, the purple visuals, the purple charts are going to show the hirings values. If I select from this filter, it's a slicer. If I select now salaries, all these charts are going to show the salaries values. And how? We just need to inform Power BI these measures here. Okay, so let's start. It's important to keep the sequence, okay, as you want to visualize here. So the first one, let's start with people numbers, like headcount, hirings, layoffs, and then we have bad hiring, and we start to have some financial numbers like salaries, overtime, and absenteeism. Okay, that's the sequence that we want. And we have here the add slicer to this page selected. And let's create this. Oh, look, parameter name. Let's leave like, let's set general measures. Okay, let's call this general measures. And let's create this. Okay, now we have this new slicer here on the screen. And if I select one of them, nothing changes. Okay, we have this new table added to the data model called general measures. And if you open here, you will see there is this list. Okay, and here is Power BI saying that when it's headcount, Power BI is going to call the measure headcount from the zero measures table that we created. And you can see that all of them has an index, okay? There is an index. Later, this will be useful in a moment, okay? We will come back to this. But how we are going to make this thing to be dynamic, the whole page to be dynamic now, Tarcisio. Okay, so we gotta select the charts, and instead of choosing the head count measure only, let's bring the general measures, okay? The general measures. Right now, we don't have any selected. So let's select, for example, overtime. Now we are seeing overtime. If we select hirings, now we see hirings. If we select bad hiring now. Okay? And why? When you selected overtime or salaries, it shows only 2020 because financial data we only have from 2020. Okay? That's why. But you can click here in the chart, in the drill down, and drill down the year of 2020 and see the details, okay? Now our report is starting to get these new fancy features, okay? I will reposition this slicer here. Let's change this style. I like to use the tile, okay? Let's position here. We don't need a slice header, and we need to show all the options for the measures, like this. Let's turn off the background. Now it's a matter of positioning, formatting here. Let's check here how it's going to look, like this. Yeah, if it was smaller, it was better. Let's change this font size. Values, font size, maybe 8. Yeah, too little, 9. Yeah, 9 suits better. And then like this to be aligned with the table below. Okay, like this. Perfect. Now let's go up here one level. Oh, and I forgot to set here the slicer setting. Single select. We only want to select one measure at a time to show here, okay? And now we gotta do the same for the other charts. Instead of one specific measure, let's bring the general measures here. Let's bring the general measures. And here, let's bring the general measures, okay? So if I select bad hiring, in total we had how many layoffs? 611. And here we have all the distribution of the 611 by age group, by job title, and so on. Tell me here if you liked this feature of Power BI parameters. Now, all the measures are dynamic in the charts. Tell me here. I love using this. I love. Uh, it's really cool. You can entirely transform this page, make it much more versatile and uh, easy for the users. Okay. Yes, Uncle Chris, this will be available for a while. Okay, you can watch later in the week, in the weekend as well. Yeah, and now let's go further. Let's go one step further in this visualization. Now let's change the colors as well. Let's make the colors dynamic. Okay, and to create the dynamic mode, we are going to need a measure. Okay, because in this measure we will check which measure we have selected, okay, which one. So for example, every time we have layoffs selected, we are going to use a certain color, let's say green. All right, so all the lines here are going to be green, the bars are going to be green because we selected layoffs. If we select bad hiring, look, it's something bad, let's put red. And then we are going to specify when it's bad hiring, the color will be red. Okay, now let's do this. And yeah, let's open here a new measure. Guys, if you are enjoying this class, please hit the like button. This will help me a lot. Okay, this content will get to more people on YouTube, and you will help me to spread the word of Power BI. Selected color for measures. Okay, and to check this, we are going to need 7 conditions, as we have 7 scenarios, 7 measures. And to create 7 conditions, I like to use the switch instead of if. Okay, it's easier, it's more clean, it's better. And we are looking for the true statement. So when the selected value of the, how do we call this? The measure, the general measures. When we, let's call the general measures table. And I remember I told you that we have an index, like an order for all the measures that we created. Now we are going to use this column that is the general measures order, okay? Power BI automatically generates this. So we can know which measure is selected according to this number, okay, of the order. So I close parentheses, I'm getting here the value of this order. And if this is the number 0, it means it's head count. I want, oops, I clicked, yeah, it's all right. I want this color here. It's the hexadecimal, hexadecimal, I'm sorry. It's the hexadecimal value, okay? So it's important to check this first and put this in a notepad. And you're saying to Power BI to use this color when this measure is selected, okay? Let's add another one just to test 2 scenarios. So for example, if it's order 1, let's use this other color here. Yeah. And when the condition is not met, let's use this other color here, okay? All right. And we gotta tell Power BI now to use these colors from this measure. So let me select the chart and let's format the line color. Here, the line color. Yes, you can see that for this, it's not available to set up the line color. Uh, why it's not available to use this? Markers, lines. We are using the line chart. Yeah. Let me check here with the bars. Yeah, bars. Yeah, the bars is enabled. Yeah, the conditional formatting. Here in the conditional formatting, there is the option for you to get the field value. And then you need to use the selected color for measures. And you hit OK. And if we choose now, for example, hirings, it's this color, headcount is this other color. Okay, so it's working, but let's see why we cannot add this into the lines. Let me see. Color. Hmm. What's going on? Let me see. Just one moment. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. For this one is going to be a little bit tricky. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This will be a little bit tricky because as you can see, look, this will be interesting for you. Uh, when you don't have the conditional formatting here enabled, we can trick Power BI into formatting this, okay? We will use the measures, these general measures here, in the legend, okay? In the legend. Let's add, look, I have selected here the head count by year in the legend. We have the general measures. And if you check, you still cannot change the color, okay? However, however, we have the chance to format the colors for the legend, okay? We have this chance. So let me turn off this selection. In the slicer settings, I will allow uh, to not select anything, okay? And you can see here that we have listed all the colors, okay? This is a trick. We have listed all the colors. And Power BI is going to save this color that you set here, okay? Power BI is going to save this. And let's use this opportunity. So here we have the chance to select the head count and choose the color for the head count, for example, okay? In this case, the color for the head count was, let me get here the value, this one. So I will paste this value here. And now let's go for the hirings. The hirings color is this one. Now the layoffs is this one. And for bad hiring, I believe is this one. Yes. For salaries is going to be this one. over time. The last one is this. Okay, now let's select here and let's enable single select. Okay, let's check. If I select hirings, layoffs, bad hiring, salaries, overtime, and absenteeism. Okay, okay. Let me check. Is it the same color? No, it's fine. Yeah, so now we have set all the colors for them. So in case you missed some part, you can check here that I have added to the legend of this chart the general measures, and with this Power BI is going to allow me to format the series of the value of each category in this legend. Okay, if you turn off the slicer here, selection, single select, and turn off the selection, you will be able to click here and see all the series, and then you can format them. Okay, so that's it. Let's select here the head count once again, single select. Now it's better. And now you can see that we have here already in the bars, in the bar chart, the conditional formatting. So I will use the format painter and I will send the same format for the others. And voila, we have done it. Okay, now it's a matter of fixing the titles. It's easy here. Head count by genre. Okay, I would set this title with 12, the font size 12, align it to the center. We can make this one larger and this one smaller. Okay, and everything now is dynamic. Okay, look, bad hiring in 2020. Uh, no, what's going on here? Yeah, exactly. It was filtering the 2020 in this chart, so I had to drill up. Let me see. Look, this color is different from the others. Oh yeah, because here in the selected color, we haven't finished. Yeah, so now we gotta finish this formatting. So I will copy and paste. Let me see. I will copy and paste from, I will cheat here, okay? In order to save time. But you can do this later by yourself. There's no secret here, it's just to save a couple of minutes, okay? So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and the second one is going to be, yeah, this one. This color is all right. Yeah, actually, I need to change this. Okay, now the colors for the fourth one is this one. Now let's check. salaries, same color, overtime, same color, absenteeism, not same color. Okay, let me change this last color then. Yeah, now it's the same color, overtime, salaries, bad hiring, layoffs, hiring, hirings, and headcount. Perfect, perfect. Wow, wow, wow. Let's save this. Okay. And I want to add one last detail here. I want to add one last detail. Tell me here in the chat from 0 to 10 how useful you think these skills are going to be for you from 0 to 10. Is this going to help you? So yeah, now uh, you know that, for example, when we talk about headcount, we have some variables mixed, like the hirings and the layoffs. They have an impact on this KPI, and would be really interesting to make this visual richer with more information, right? Would be really nice if we can add this. So let's add more information. What if I select here, I point at one specific period, like this year of 2015, and I show how many people we hired and how many people we fired in this period, right? It would be really similar to like an error bar. If we have an error bar with some positive values with the people we hired and some negative values with the people we fired, it would help us to understand and to check the difference from the previous year, from the previous period to this period that we are. And let's do this now. Uh, and this is very interesting as we are using here the line chart. We have here this third option, okay? It's add further analysis to your visual. And here we are going to use the error bar. So this applies to this series, the head count, okay? When we have the head count enabled, let's enable this error bar. And this will work by field. We don't want the percentage, okay? It's by field. And the upper bound will be the number of people we hired, okay? So let's select here hirings. And yeah, you can see that's really weird. It's looking really weird, the chart with this line. It's, uh, it's weird because let's see. Let's see how many people we hired. Look, 2020, we hired 24. And here, it's showing the upper 24 because we hired 24. But it's showing the value down here and not down, up here. Okay, let's change this setup. Let's go. And here we have the option. Relationship to the measure. It's not absolute, it's relative. And now it's getting there. It's getting to the place we want. And the lower bound, it's the layoffs measure. Okay, that's the measure we want. uh, about the colors, the bar, we can select here the yellow as well, or some light gray. I think it will be elegant, the light gray. Okay. And guys, remember to like this video, okay? Please. Yeah, so, oh, let's see. If I pass the mouse over 1 year, we can see that, uh, look, now it's saying that the upper is 340, the lower is 189. Yeah, let's see if we can change this. We want the relative number, or we can even show the range in percentage. So let's see. No, it doesn't make sense. Oh, or it does. Let me see. We hired around 9% and we fired 16% from the previous period. Yeah, I don't think this makes sense. Let's make a relative numeric value only. So we can see that we fired 41 and we hired 24. I'm sorry. Yeah. So if I check in the year of 2020, we fired 41. Layoffs, 2020, we fired 41. Okay. Does it looks cool to you? Do you think it's going to be nice to use something like this in your reports? So we have improved this visual and well, I would recommend you to think about other possibilities as well. We have much more data, okay? So for now, we have the first page completed. We have the general page completed. Congratulations if you have stayed until this point. I know this is not easy, and if you're here, you are really trying to make your time worth in learning Power BI. And I'm happy to help you. And let's continue. So now let's go for our next page. Let's start building the absenteeism analysis. This will be fun, I promise. Because now it's about data visualization. We are starting to create the visuals, my favorite part. Oh yeah, this chart title, let's put 12 here as well. And align center. Oh, and another interesting thing, so you can see, for example, if we select bad hiring, all the titles adjust themselves. Bad hiring salaries are the same. Oh, look, this one is not being updated. Let's see why. Let's see why. Because actually this value is not correct. Here we are using the old measure. So here I gotta bring the correct measure. Yeah, let's see now. Salaries by job. Okay. Well, here I don't think this is working for the salaries and for overtime by abbreviated job title. Yeah, let's see why. I think the relationship, we have a situation here that we need to fix first. Is it possible to integrate AI? Yes, in the next page we are going to use machine learning. What is the actual job of Power BI developer? Is this what we need, what we did today, that thing, or it has more things to be implemented? Serdian, Power BI is a very huge topic, right? We have seen since yesterday, we have many possibilities of uh, loading the data. All this topic, only this topic is already huge. You can work with APIs, with databases, with spreadsheets. There are many possibilities. You can work after this, creating the data model that is not something easy and clear for everybody at first. And later, you have to create the DAX measures. This will require some experience as well, let's say in the front end part. And then we have the data visualization, that is this part that we are doing now. And later, you gotta publish this on Power BI service. and it has many details as well to pay attention and to study. So it's a very broad and big word to learn and to practice. Okay, so a Power BI developer could be in any of these areas. Let me check here why this measure over time, where is it? It's this measure of over time, sum of transactions, and we are filtering the events. Let's see. The events is filtering the transactions. Yeah, it's looking fine. However, we are listing by the uh, job title. Let's see, where is the job title, where it comes from? The F contracts. Oh, yeah, sure. We have one field from the contract that is trying to filter the result from this table, from the F transactions. So this does not work. Okay. So what we are supposed to do when we have, look, we have this path. We have this field from abbreviated job title that has no way to get into this table, okay? A good data model will not allow a fact table to filter another fact table, okay, in general. Uh, so we gotta figure out how to create this filter, okay? And one possible solution could be to bring this job title to the employee table. Here we can see which table, no, I'm sorry, which job title this employee has. And after this, we use this column from this table to filter the transaction and calculate the salary. Okay, so you see now the importance of data modeling and understanding the filters, the direction, this direction, why it's important to have it well figured out and well established, because this will guarantee that the information you are showing to the user is accurate. It's important, very important. So let's go back. So you see, we have this information, the F contracts. Where is it? Abbreviated job title, okay? And now we gotta bring this into the D employee. We gotta create this new column here in the D employee. And for the Excel experienced users that we have here, we gotta do a VLOOKUP, okay? My friends from Excel, let's click here on create a new column in the D employee, and let's call this job title. Actually, it's the abbreviated, right? Job title. And we're going to use the DAX function called lookup value. It's very similar to the VLOOKUP, okay? The result column name that we want is the abbreviated job title from the F contracts, okay? And where we are going to search, this, yeah, in the F contracts by the employee ID, right? So let's look for in the F contracts employee code in our case, actually. It's a written code in the other table and ID in this table. And yeah, based on the employee ID. Okay, abbreviated as double B. Okay, perfect. Now we have all the values loaded here. And in this case, we really needed this table, okay, this column, because now we are able to drag and drop from the D employee this new column. And now we have the values right. Yes, thanks God, all looking good, working well. So let's go for the next one. Yo, let's go. Let's call this absenteeism. And let's load the canvas background that you have in the download folder. This is the slide number 3, fit with zero transparency, okay? So now we are going to create these visualizations and let's start thinking, what do we want to get out of this, right? As we are going to analyze absenteeism, we have 3 sources of absenteeism. Remember, we have delay, we have sick note, and absence. So somewhere here in the screen, we gotta differentiate these 3 type of categories. Plus, would be nice to add other visuals to compare, for example, absenteeism rate between male and female, by age group as well. So let's start doing this. And you can see that I left a huge space here for adding the machine learning visual that Power BI has. This is not going to process this data on the cloud, okay? This will use the Power BI desktop offline for this. And Power BI will look for some uh, interesting correlations to show us some insights. Okay, so let's try to leverage the use of this visual. I want to start with, in the first little box here, with the male and female rate. Okay, so I want to create here a stacked, no, 100% stacked bar chart. Why? Because I will bring here the absenteeism, okay, and we want to see the genre by employee. So where is it? Yeah, it's here. And all right, now we are looking for the easiest way to see the percentage of these costs between the 2 genres. But this visual here is going to separate the 2 categories, and it's going to say that it's 100% for each one, and it's not what we want. So we need to drag and drop the genre to the legend. And now we have them distinguished, okay? And let's position this here. First of all, we don't need a title. We of course are talking about absenteeism. And yes, we need to differentiate the colors. Here in the legend, let's align top center. We don't need the title for this, and we want to see the numbers, right? Let's see the data labels. Yeah, let's see if we can fit the small number here as well. What is the size? Here we have the option to show both the value and the percentage, okay? Let's format this better with 0 decimal places. Oh, and of course, let me format this measure. Here we are talking about money. And I want 0 decimal places. Okay. Let's see how it's showing. Yeah, the female is very short to show the values. Let's see if we can make this visual a little bit Uh, oh yeah, we don't want the x-axis. Let's turn this off. And let's turn off the background as well. We don't want this. We don't want the title of the x-axis. And yeah, that's too small for all the values. So maybe I will turn off this value. Yeah, perfect. Now we can see the percentage between the two. Okay, now let's position this like here. Yeah, it's better now. Let's see if I can respect the space better. Yeah. All right, it's looking fine. However, I don't like these colors. I want to change these colors because this purple has another meaning in the other page, and we gotta be consistent with the standards. We gotta change this. So for female, let's use the dark gray, and for male, let's use almost black. No, 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 no. Let's use light gray. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. It's okay. Now let's go for the next one. You guys remember I told you we have three categories of absence, of absenteeism. Which one of them is absence? So let's let's use this cool waterfall chart. In this way, we can show the value by each category. Let's bring the absenteeism and let's bring the categories of the events. All right, so let's turn off this title. Let's turn off the title of the x-axis. Let's turn off this y-axis and the title as well. And let's turn off the legend. The legend is self-explanatory. However, the colors here should be the opposite, because if it's a sick note, we are paying. I would make this red. And if it's absence, the employee is paying, I would make this green. And also the delay, because the employee is paying for the delay, okay? So, and also for the absenteeism, what was the color we were using? Let me get this color here. For the colors, let me get this color for the absenteeism. And this total should have the same color. Yeah, it's here. And let's invert the increase for red, decrease for green. Okay, now it's better. This male bar is too light. I cannot read this very well. So let's change it to another shade of gray. Yeah, it's better. And here down below, we have the option to add other visuals. So we can bring, for example, one of these that we already have, like the age group. Let's bring this here. And now you can see that's not, it's a mess. It's not well formatted because we have here the general measures. And we need only the absenteeism on this page. And this color, the bar color, we are not using the conditional formatting. We are using this light purple, okay? If you have a more refined vocabulary of colors in English, please teach me how to say the name of this color. Yeah. And now let's add the great key influencers visual. That is going to take all this space here. And we want to analyze the absenteeism, okay? And here, Power BI is going to calculate and tell us many interesting facts that could be like what influences absenteeism to increase or to decrease, for example. But we gotta give some information in order to this visual to work, okay? So we gotta feed the model. There is a machine learning running behind this visual from Microsoft, and we gotta inform a few fields here in the explain by, okay? So Power BI will compare all these different columns and see how they relate and to look for the impact and some correlations between them on the result. Yeah, so let's think. What in your opinion can impact? Tell me here in the chat. Tell me here, what in your opinion, which columns out of this list of columns that we have from the tables, which ones would be interesting to add to the model to see if, for example, there is a certain characteristic of each employee that's going to impact the absenteeism. And let Power BI to try to figure out. While you send me this, I will add the data label here that I forgot. The numbers are very important. Yeah. Yes, you can also use Python to analyze this. You can add the Python visual here. Look, there is this option. If you are experienced with Python, would be nice to integrate both words and get the best of the two words. Okay. Tell me here in the chat which columns you think it could be useful to bring. Do you think the details regarding the employee are interesting to analyze to see if it's going to impact on the absenteeism? Let's add, for example, the age. And then when I selected age, you can see that it has added the sum of age. But no, 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 no. We don't want to sum the age. Each employee has one age. Okay, the first one, salary date and the contract type. Why you think the salary date could have an impact on absenteeism? And the contract type, it's very interesting. Yeah, and very interesting as well. Marital status, for sure, it should have an impact. And age and position, yeah, so let's rank the abbreviated job title, age, the age group, the employee name, doesn't matter. What if we find a correlation like every employee called Tarcisio has an impact? No, we don't want to analyze by the name, neither ID, genre. This is important. The grade level is important. As you said, marital status, important. Nationality, yeah, it could be a factor. The details regarding the salary, the date, and the contract type. All right, so let's bring the the contract type. Let's bring, where is it? Mhm. Yeah, the contract type code, but we don't want to count this, don't summarize. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's right here, the contract type. We don't need the code. The schedule, this is interesting. Yeah, let's add the schedule. And wow, now we have many things already appearing. Okay, let's see if we can add maybe another column. Uh, yeah, I think it's okay for now. Let's read what Power BI is saying, right? Let's make this larger on the screen. So here we are analyzing what influences absenteeism to increase. When grade level is graduated, the absenteeism increases by this amount. Here we are talking about uh, financial impact, okay? In reality, it could be like graduated people tend to miss less days, but the financial impact is one of the biggest ones, okay? So we are measuring the financial impact. This is important. So if we compare graduated with other categories of grade level, it's very high, very high. And of course, this could be due to, let's say, we only hire graduated people. So this comparison could be unfair. So it's your job to check this later if this flag is a valid point of attention to analyze. Okay. Uh, let's see if I have added the schedule. Yeah, I have the schedule is here. When we have the analyst as the job title, the analyst is the one who has the biggest impact in the absenteeism. We gotta talk with these analysts. Look, you gotta learn more about Power BI. Don't miss the job, okay? And now let's go to the next level. Let's go to the next level. I'm going to invite you to go to the next level with this analysis by selecting in the other charts and filtering the analysis. So for example, I want to analyze now what influences absenteeism to increase when we are talking about sick note. Look, analysts are the champions for the sick note impact. There is another thing that we should enable here. Let's select this visual analysis. Let's add the counts. Okay, this is important. Let's enable the counts. So here, if I count how many occurrences of this we have in our data set, I can see and I can compare the financial impact by the count, by how many times this is present in the data set. Okay, so yeah, like in this case, the job title analyst has this very high increase in the, it's very significant in terms of costs for us. However, when we count the occurrences, yeah, actually, yeah, it's very high, or isn't it? Or is not? No, it's not. It's not. Here it's ordered by the count. So yeah, the analyst is not the top one. The top one is male. 66% of the data is regarding male. Okay. Uh, so let's go back to the impact. And here in the impact, let's see, we also have technicians that are very high. And yeah, so let's analyze here, for example, 35 to 44. I am pressing Control to keep the filters of these two charts, okay? So if you have, for example, nothing selected, click in Sick Note and now press Control in the keyboard to select the other chart, and then you are going to filter both of them at the same time. So now we are talking about the Sick Note for this range of age, 35 to 44, and this is the scenario. Okay, this is the scenario, and usually these people are married. Okay, uh, and now we can start digging the data. And yeah, tell me here, did you like this feature? Did you like the application of this? We can improve this even more. Tomorrow we are going to check some details. Oh, and we forgot to change the colors. Let's change the colors. Primary elements, the data color, let's leave like this. Yeah. Okay, for now it's all good. And tomorrow we are going to talk more about the analysis. We are going to finish the turnover and the extra hirings page. Okay? Tell me here if you are happy learning this new content, if you are enjoying. Tell me your impressions. Yes, thank you, Sergeant. Thank you. It's been a pleasure, and I'm trying to bring everything I can here. Okay, I'm not filtering what I am teaching. I am bringing the best I can do. Are those links working? Yes, Tebogo, the links are working. Okay, you can download the materials. Okay, Doreen, you liked everything. Makes me very happy. Thank you. And tomorrow we are going to improve this and create the other two pages. Okay? Send this to a friend. If you are enjoying, send this to a friend. Share is important for everyone to learn, for your friends to learn, for my channel to also grow. And please register, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am at almost 10,000 subscribers. Okay? Yeah, so I believe for now that's it. And tomorrow we have the last day with the details and much more cool content. Okay, so I wish you a very good night and we talk more tomorrow. Bye bye. Thank you guys.